In this video, I'm gonna provide a comprehensive overview about GHelper so you can actually understand it and later use it to improve the performance of your gaming laptop. So before starting with GHelper, you gotta make sure that you removed from your computer the default app Armoury Crate made for Asus gaming laptops, and basically you wanna do that because you don't want like two software programs fighting for the same hardware and doing the same functionalities. I mean, that is sort of like can cause conflicts to your computer and you don't want that. So just open your GHelper user interface, then go to extra, and then as you can read here, Asus services running are 0 because I've already stopped that. So you can just go to extra and Asus services running and stop them immediately. Another stuff before diving into GHelper settings, so once you have GHelper installed on your computer, you're gonna be having this cool user interface, and basically it has this special name, and this simply means like a special name for your product model. So if you copy this and paste it on Google, you're gonna be seeing specs with the same configuration of your gaming laptop, or in general you're gonna be seeing the configuration of your gaming laptop. The first concept is about CPU cooling, and as you can see here we got a lot of different options: silent, balanced, turbo, fans and power. For fans and power I'm gonna talk about it later because it has a lot of options and stuff to talk about. Anyways, for the three remaining options, turbo, balanced, silent, they simply tell you how you want the CPU fans to spin, whether aggressively or quietly. So if the fans are spinning so much more aggressively, that means you're getting more performance and more noise at the same time. The opposite of the fans spinning quietly, that means you're getting less performance and less noise. So when you are about to run some heavy tasks such as video editing, video gaming, whatever, you can choose whether balanced or turbo. So balanced is like a balance between performance and noise. Turbo is prioritizing performance over anything else, over the CPU fan sound. And you can keep silent just for some light working, such as light office work, light browsing, whatever. And that is simply because in silent mode, the CPU fans are spinning so slow, and in heavy tasks, the temperature of your CPU is going to be getting higher and higher, and you'll be needing the CPU fans to be spinning more fast. So it is not recommended to use the silent mode while intense work, gaming, whatever. For this section right here, GPU mode, it is for which graphics card to use depending on the scene. And as you can see right now, I'm using the standard mode. So anyways, to explain things, first we got the eco mode, and it means disabling your dGPU to save battery, which means you're not gonna be using your dGPU, only your iGPU and only when needed. So basically when you are running on battery and you are not plugged in, you can use this eco option to save battery, but of course you shouldn't use it if you are playing a video game or something like that, because you're gonna be having FPS drops and stuff like that. You're not gonna get the maximum performance out there. For standard, it is like an automatic switching, or in other words, it enables your dGPU only when needed. For example, if you enter the game, dGPU is gonna be enabled. For ultimate, it is enabling only your dGPU to get the maximum performance out there, the maximum FPS. For optimized, it is also like an automatic switching, so it switches to eco on battery when you are on battery and to standard when you are plugged in. Now with the laptop screen, it is just what is the refresh rate that you want your screen to display. We got auto, which means letting the system to choose instead of you, or to be more specific, setting it to 60 Hz while running on battery and back when plugged. And for 60 Hz, it is simply 60 FPS, and basically all computers can display this display. And the last option, it cannot be the same for all people. Some might see here 144 Hz, 165, 180. For me, on my Asus Tough Gaming A16, I got 165 Hz. Now if I go to Windows display settings, and then refresh rate. I'm gonna be seeing the value that I have already set in ghelper. So that means whatever thing you make in ghelper, it is gonna be also applied in Windows settings, which means ghelper is simply embedded in the system. Now if I change this value 60 to 165 Hz, it is gonna be shown here as well. I don't want to do that right now because I'm recording and the screen might flicker. When it comes to laptop keyboard, this feature right here, color, was made for the RGB. All you gotta do is go to it and pick up whatever color you want, press OK, and it is gonna be applied. But before doing this, you gotta make sure that your laptop do support RGB, otherwise this feature does not mean anything to you. But in case if you have a laptop that supports RGB, like one of those Asus TUF gaming series laptops, you gotta make sure that you do one small thing to make the RGB works fine for you. So go to your Windows search bar and type dynamic, or let's go with this one right here, change lighting, colors, brightness and effects. Open it and then make sure that use dynamic lighting on my devices is off, and finally the RGB should work fine for you. The battery charge limit, I personally set it to 80% rather than any value. I think it just works fine for me, like 80% for more lifespan of the battery. You can set it to whatever you want, 100%, 80%, it is your choice. And of course you cannot go under some values. It depends on your laptop. Like for me, I cannot go under 40%. So once you click fans and power, you'll see this big interface right here. From here you can monitor your CPU fans and the GPU fans. Yeah, I mean, as well as the GPU fans, and basically these two curves right here, they should always be the same. I mean, they should never be different, of course. For the three options that we already talked about, silent, balance, turbo, you can choose them from here as well. As you can see, if I click silent, it will appear here that I've chosen silent. Same thing for balance, and same thing for turbo, as you can see here. And for this thing right here, GPU, if you are running on the eco mode, you're not gonna be able to see it. I mean, it is obvious that if you disabled your GPU using the eco mode, you're not gonna be able to make adjustments on it, so you're not gonna see this. As well as if you go to the task manager and the GPU section, so imagine with me that you've chosen eco mode, you're not gonna be able to see the type of your graphics card, no matter which type you are having, RTX or AMD or whatever. So just to mention this really quick. So before making any adjustments, it is advisable to go ahead and create your personal customs by clicking this plus button and renaming your custom. For me, I've already created a lot of customs, as you can see here: heavy gaming, medium gaming, light gaming, custom 4, custom 5. You can create as many customs as you can. So it is advisable to create them first before making any adjustments on the CPU, GPU, advanced and whatever options. Before talking about CPU stuff and GPU and advanced options, I'd like to talk about these two curves right here. So for example, if a lot of things are going on there, you are gaming, you are opening Discord with your friends, a lot of browser tabs are opened and so on, you can just go ahead and create a custom. For me, I've created heavy gaming, and actually I've copied the fan curves of turbo. I've copied them here in my custom, and then at each point, for example, I added 50. I mean, your personal adjustments at the end of the day are up to you, but I mean, like, each case of use should be suitable with the fan curves. Otherwise the CPU and the GPU would reach their thermal limits so quickly, and you're gonna be facing problems that way. And of course, after setting your personal curves, don't forget to select apply custom fan curve, so that way it will actually work for you. For the CPU, here is some Windows modes, best power efficiency, balance, and so on. Each mode has its own features, like for example, if you want to just go ahead and save your battery, you can go with this right here. It does things like stopping all the apps running in the background and so on. So it really depends on your choice each time. For the CPU boost, here we have a lot of different options. For performance, I usually go with the efficient enabled because I don't see a much big difference between aggressive and enabled. So I just choose efficient enabled over anything else. Now for the power limits, SPL and SPPT, these names right here might be confusing, but I just read it this way: CPU sustained and CPU 2-minute boost. So this actually right here means the constant power limit. It controls how much voltage the CPU uses during long use to keep the heat under control. And for this one, CPU 2-minute boost, it lets the CPU to pull extra power for quick stuff, like for example loading screens, some gaming spikes, things like that. After that it just drops down back to the SPL. Concerning the GPU, so here would be the name of your graphics card. For me it chose a 5060 RTX, and starting with the core clock limit, you can think of this as the speed of your GPU basically. The slower clocks, the less performance you're having, but the cost benefit is your GPU gonna be using less power, so you can just leave it to default, but be aware in this case your GPU is gonna be using more power, of course. For the core clock offset, if you want to add some extra megahertz to your original core clock limit, right here, negative values, positive values. For me personally, when it comes to the performance mode, I just set this to 100 megahertz. It is safe and efficient, For the memory clock offset, it is the same concept with the core clock offset, but with the memory, of course. So the speed of the memory, basically. This right here is your GPU power. The dynamic boost is adding some extra voltage to your original GPU power. And right here you got the temperature target. And for this condition right here, if your GPU power is really high, if you are using a high GPU power, you can just leave this to the maximum. So that's all it is about. For the GPU power, if you've set the core clock limit to a high value and additionally to some extra megahertz, you have to be aware that you are giving them a good amount of GPU power. Otherwise, these values don't mean anything without a good amount of GPU power. In advanced, here is the CPU temp limit. The CPU temperature limit, it just lets you to set a limit to your CPU temperature. And to set that, it depends on how you use your laptop at that moment. And in some systems, there was another options of undervolting your CPU. You can undervolt it so that you can get rid of the overheat of your CPU. On my Asus stuff gaming A16, I'm not having it. I only can control this option of the CPU temperature. And finally, for some extra features, you just open extra, you'll see a bunch of different features right here. Here are the key bindings. You can make key bindings of your own by taking an action and you give it a key binding, and this is a really cool feature, by the way. For the laptop backlight, so if your laptop do support RGB, so you can choose whatever color you want, in that case you can adjust the sharpness of it by adjusting this laptop backlight like this. Here are some extra features about NVIDIA and your GPU state. And the last important thing is about updating your G-Helper. You just go to version. If you have not updated yet, this will appear in color red and it will navigate you to update your G-Helper program if you have not yet.